Hello everyone! Welcome to Untold History, the channel where we explore the most surprising and often forgotten events that have shaped history. Today we travel to the world of ancient Rome and Carthage to talk about an epic conflict that shaped the future of the Mediterranean, the First Punic War, which took place between 264 and 241 BC. This confrontation was the first of a series of wars between the two great powers of the Western Mediterranean, and marked the beginning of Rome's imperial expansion outside the Italian peninsula. The First Punic War was, in essence, a struggle for control of Sicily, an island strategically located between Italy and North Africa. At the time, Sicily was divided between several powers, with Carthage controlling much of the island and some Greek cities struggling to maintain their independence. Carthage, a wealthy Phoenician city-state located on the coast of what is now Tunisia, already had a vast trading empire that stretched across the western Mediterranean, including Sicily. Rome, on the other hand, was emerging as a power in the Italian peninsula, having subdued various tribes and city-states on its territory, but had not yet extended its influence outside of Italy. Conflict began when the Romans became embroiled in a dispute in the Sicilian city of Messina. This city had been occupied by the Mamertines, a group of Italian mercenaries, who asked for help from both Rome and Carthage to defend themselves from Syracuse, a powerful Greek city in Sicily. Carthage initially sent a force to support the Mamertines, but soon Rome intervened, seeing an opportunity to increase its influence in Sicily. This led to a direct confrontation between Rome and Carthage, as both powers were unwilling to relinquish control of Messina. What followed was a protracted and costly conflict that was fought both by land and sea. Although Rome had formidable infantry, especially its legions, it lacked naval experience compared to Carthage, which possessed one of the most powerful fleets in the Mediterranean. During the early years of the war, Rome was at a disadvantage at sea, suffering several defeats at the hands of the Carthaginian navy. However, Rome's determination was one of the key factors that turned the tide of the conflict. The Romans decided to build a fleet to challenge Carthage's naval supremacy. They did this by copying the design of a captured Carthaginian ship, and in a surprisingly short time Rome assembled a powerful war fleet. But it was not just a matter of equaling Carthage at sea. The Romans also introduced innovations in naval warfare. One of the most important was the corvus, a device that allowed Roman ships to engage enemy ships and transformed naval battles into hand-to-hand combat, where the Roman infantry, superior in land combat, had the advantage. This allowed them to surpass the experience and skill of the Carthaginian sailors. One of the first major Roman victories at sea took place at the Battle of Mylae in 260, where the Roman fleet, led by the consul Gaius Duilius, defeated the Carthaginians using the corvus. It was a major blow to Carthaginian morale and showed that Rome was a force to be reckoned with at sea as well. From that point on, the conflict escalated, with both sides fighting for control of Sicily and its valuable ports. The war raged for more than 2 decades, with victories and defeats on both sides. One of the most outstanding episodes was the Roman expedition to North Africa in 256, when Rome decided to take the fight directly to Carthaginian territory. Under the leadership of the consul Marcus Atilius Regulus, the Romans landed in Africa and achieved several initial victories, allowing them to advance to the vicinity of Carthage. However, the Romans' fortunes changed when they were defeated at the Battle of Tunis in 255 and Regulus was captured by the Carthaginians. This setback, along with the loss of a large Roman fleet due to a storm, was a reminder that the war was far from over. Throughout the conflict, both powers suffered huge losses in terms of men, ships, and resources. The war was also noted by intense naval rivalry, with numerous battles fought at sea. However, Carthage's continued naval defeats and Rome's growing naval prowess began to tip the scales in favor of the Romans. Conflict finally reached its climax in 241, with the Battle of the Egadian Islands. This was the decisive battle that sealed the fate of the First Punic War. On this occasion, the Roman fleet, under the command of the consul Gaius Lutatius Catullus, intercepted a Carthaginian fleet carrying vital supplies to his forces in Sicily. The battle resulted in a crushing victory for the Romans, forcing Carthage to negotiate peace. Defeated and exhausted by years of conflict, the Carthaginians had no choice but to accept the terms imposed by Rome. Peace treaty signed in 241 was Carthage. Under the terms of the agreement, Carthage had to leave Sicily, which became the first Roman province outside Italy. In addition, they were forced to pay a large war indemnity, which considerably weakened the Carthaginian economy. The defeat in the First Punic War marked the beginning of the decline of Carthaginian influence in the Western Mediterranean and the rise of Rome as a naval and territorial power. Despite the Roman victory, the First Punic War left profound consequences on both sides. Rome had demonstrated its ability to adapt to and overcome a superior enemy at sea, but the war had also been incredibly costly in terms of lives and resources. For Carthage, the loss of Sicily was a devastating blow, but it also planted the seeds of revenge. The humiliation suffered in the war and the internal tensions in Carthage would set the stage for the rise of one of the most famous generals in history, Hannibal Barca, whose campaign in the Second Punic War would once again put Rome in grave danger. In short, the First Punic War was much more than just a war for Sicily. It was a struggle for hegemony of the Mediterranean that laid the groundwork for Rome's future expansion and eventual domination over the ancient world. Moreover, it was a conflict that showed the determination, military ingenuity, and adaptability of the Romans, qualities that would allow them to build one of the greatest empires in history. Thank you for joining us in this analysis of the First Punic War. If you liked the episode, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell for more revealing stories in Untold history. See you in the next one.